All right, 140s. Here I come again, motherfuckers. I'm like that crazy ex-girlfriend that you just can't get rid of. That's how I'm gonna be with these 140s. I'm gonna keep fucking being a nuisance until I feel like I've had my fill, or at least until I feel like I conquered them. And to me, conquering the 140s, what would I say? I'd say once I kind of get to the point where I can do the 140s on an incline for a pretty consistent basis of 12 reps, um, I would say I think I'd finally be over them. I'd be over my ex, and I'd move on to something bigger and better. Now, whether I would go from the 140s straight to the 150s, that's a big jump for dumbbells. It'd honestly probably just be 5 pound increments up. So probably just go up to the 145s. But now, how long this is gonna last, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like how long I'm even gonna keep doing dumbbells. But honestly, it's a nice change. I was hammering Smith machine. Every now and then I'd throw in, free weight barbell, maybe a week here, a week there, every 4, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. But for the most part, I've been hammering Smith machine. And like I said, it's just a nice change, man, to do dumbbells. I've often said and kind of complained um, that the main reason I did not use dumbbells that much is because you use, and it's still true, but you use a lot of energy bringing the dumbbells back and forth, warming up, and then picking them up, setting them on your legs. Like if you do that enough, it could take a rep or reps away from your set. You know what I mean? It helps on Monday when I do flat bench that they have the setup where you set them on the rack and you bring it to you, you push it up where the rack falls back and you can just bench it. That's nice. I wish I had that for incline, but beggars can't be choosers. I mean, I don't want to be pampered to that much, I guess. But so yeah, I'm that crazy fucking X right now. I'm coming back for the 140s, and I'm going to again. My second set, for whatever reason, is typically better than the first. So I'll see how the first one goes, but I would not be surprised if the second one's better. So let's just see what I can do with these 140s. I did, man. I kind of progressed up through my warm ups kind of quick. To be honest with you, the 120s felt light. That was my last warm up. But now that I got the 140s, I'm like, it's more mentally. I don't know if I'm quite ready, but let me lock in here and see if I can change that. No matter what, these 140s are getting benched. Man, what a bummer. I genuinely thought that I had 12 reps there. It was a little sloppy, I'll be honest, but I felt a little unstable, probably because I rushed the warm ups. But it didn't feel that heavy. I honestly thought I had 12, and I think I got a little too full of myself on that 12th one, and I went slow. I think I even did a little quick pause at the bottom, and they got me. They got the better of me there. But I'll say that is actually pretty close to what, you know, I said I was kind of what that threshold is of feeling like I am strong enough and good enough to go up from the 140s. Now, I could do that now, honestly. I could probably do 145s for, I'll have to say exactly how many, but at least 9, I would think. But it's like, how would my stamina be with that? Usually, like, again, my second set is usually better, and I still have no idea why that is, but then the third set is usually pretty tough. So it's like on the third set would only be getting 7 or something. That's not. I mean, that'd be okay, but I'd like a little more. So, but shit. I mean, what else can I say about that? That was fucking honestly way better than I was even expecting. Which is cool. So let's do it again. And like I said, usually my second one's better. So maybe will I get 12 on the next one? I'm gonna go into the set with that mindset, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up because depending how you look at it, I was gonna say I don't want to be let down. Sometimes being let down can you know motivate you that much more. But yeah, we'll see. Let's do it again. Before I get too excited about that, because I think that was 12. I feel like I rushed it. I'm kind of okay with speeding my tempo up a little bit when I'm trying to, go a little ballistic on a weight that's a little heavier, but also on the same note, I would like to still have pretty good control. Obviously I never fully lost control. When that happens, usually some bad shit goes down, but I don't know. I'll go back and watch it, but I just feel like this is where I've been doing really good as of late, but every now and then I still struggle with trying to hit a certain rep number with a certain weight, kind of in that powerlifting um area, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like sometimes when I do that, I sacrifice my form and contraction. Although I mean, I still feel it in my chest, but could have been a little better if I wasn't so worried about doing 12 and just did 10 or 11 there with more, isolation and focus on my chest. Maybe. I mean, I'll never know now. The set's already done, but you guys know what I mean? Like, this is why sometimes, if you're bodybuilding, having a certain rep number in your head, sometimes without you even knowing, you can be putting that in front of other things that you probably shouldn't be. And it's like, that's what I'm kind of asking myself. Did I do that just now? I don't know. Like I said, 2 sets and I already got a pretty good pump in my chest. So I don't know. I mean, can I really argue with that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, like I always tend to do. I probably am, but all in all, I did 12, so that's cool. I think that's the first time I've ever done 12 reps with 140s on an incline. So there's that. That's fucking cool. All right, let's do it one more time, then I'll do a couple back down sets. I'll figure out the weight when I do this next one. So yeah, let's do one more. Oh my god, that whole set, there was a hair about to go in my freaking eye. I mean, I don't think it would have made the set any different if it wasn't, but still, fuck, that was not ideal. I'll say that. Now, see, can you see the drastic difference there? I didn't go much slower, but I went just a little. And obviously, it was my third set with 140, so you know it's gonna start to feel pretty heavy. But I struggled to even do 9 there when I did 12 on the previous one, so you can kind of see there. All in all, though, I did 12, which is a rep PR. Again, that's not my main goal, but and I need to make sure I don't start making that the case, you know. But yeah, the rep PR, that's always fucking cool. 3 good sets though, you know. I think I'll go down to the 115s. I was considering doing the 120s. I don't think I mean, obviously I can handle 120s, but I want to be able to go even a little slower here and still get about 12 to 15 for a couple sets. So, like I said, I can handle the 120s, but and you know, you just say these 115s might even I might do 2 sets with them and be like, man, I wish I would have done the 120s, but that'll be a lesson learned for me to correct next week. I'd rather do that than go too heavy. So yeah, let's grab the 115s. Whew. This fucking thing. You know, I can fully acknowledge that the set that I just did, um, if I had started with something like this, I'd have to go a little heavier. But the general concept of, I'm not doing a negative, but I am going pretty slow and controlled and just squeezing my chest as hard as I can. That concept, just this one set alone, doing it like that, I wouldn't say it feels or I have a better pump already than the first three combined, but I'd say it's close. Now that could be a product of I've already done three sets before that, like I just said, but just overall, I could just feel the difference. That's the thing. It's like I just like to train heavy too. I like that aspect of it. So like my whole kind of approach and mindset with that is if you're gonna commit to training and getting in shape, just that whole world in general of fitness, the best way that you're gonna find that you can stick to it is find stuff that you love to do. If you're an endurance athlete, you just love running and doing stuff like that, then there's your lane. Strongman, same thing. Bodybuilding, same thing. Uh, Anything like that, find what you love to do and try to pair that with stuff that you need to do in order to get the desired results that you're trying to get. So, since I'm more in the bodybuilding world now, would it would it benefit me to train like I used to and do heavy sets of 5, 4, 3? I mean, you can still build muscle, but is it for most people is that the best way? No. So I've found that middle ground of doing heavy sets of 8 to 12 for my compound lifts, but with still pretty good control for the most part. And then on the rest of the isolation, I still go heavy for the reps I'm doing, but it's a little higher in that 12 to 15. And that's kind of what I mean when I say I kind of paired. And like what I love to do again is training heavy, but I only do three sets of it at most of the time, unless I'm just feeling really good and just want to have one day where I go a little crazy, and then everything else is more aligned with my goals rather than what I love. And it's not even say I don't like that. I really enjoyed that. That was still a good set, but it's just not quite the same. So, anyways, let's do one more. Damn. I launched those a little harder and farther than I was actually wanting to. Let's do drop set. Let's go down to the 60s. Okay, my arms were literally dead at the end of that. I didn't have the energy to kind of. I just had to drop them where they were, which is cool. Before that, dude, I was gonna say I'm not really getting much of a pump, but after that, I'm starting to awaken something. I think. Yeah, I can't even bounce them right now, so we're on to something now. That's it for pressing. Do some isolation stuff. All right, good old cable chest flies. Was there ever really any other choice at this point? Maybe pec deck. The only two things I do for chest flies, really. Well, I mean, every now and then you'll see me hop on an incline dumbbell fly, or it's actually been a long time since I've done decline dumbbell flies. But yeah, for the most part, it's this or pec deck. I mean, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of my idea, anyways. Not my idea, but you know what? No, let's go a little heavier to start. Just like with everything else, I'm gonna try to keep it simple, but just do a progressive overload when I feel the time is right. And I feel like today, well, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, fuck it. Let's try this. Let me do a set. See. That's a pretty good rep range, I think. I mean, I'm not no shock here, but I'm not 100% sure how many I did actually. But I know it was close to 15, if not right around there. So it's not much. Oh my god, come on! It's not much extra weight. Say I did do 15, adding that, and then say I would have lost a rep anyways just from fatigue from doing a set. So that would have put me around 14, and then adding that should have me again if I did 15 around 12 or 13. I think that's just my gym bro math. We'll see how it pans out. Yeah, two more. All right, I have a feeling. Okay, there's two correct answers here. I think either I didn't do 15 reps like I was just kind of basing my math off of on the previous set. Either I didn't do 15, and saying that 12 reps was quite a bit harder than I thought. Either that, or my math was just wrong. My theory was just wrong. Say I did do 15 on the last one. Well, I mean, I did 12. I said 12 or 13, but I think 12 was even harder than I expected. So, but honestly, saying all that, it felt fucking awesome. So I'll do one more, like always. Throw in a nice little drop set in, and I think, oh fuck, I don't know yet. I'm very unsure today. You can't tell. Normally, I'm pretty concrete. I have a pretty good idea what I'm gonna do. Very rarely will I change it if, say, an exercise just feels bad. But today, I'm kind of I don't know. So let's just do the next set, and then I'll figure it out. All right, it's been, well, how many workouts exactly has it been since I've done this? I guess it really don't matter, but it's been a few at least. So I figured why not finish with a nice little 2 or 3 sets here on a movement that I don't have to stabilize anything and just focus on squeezing my chest. And I might pair it with like one set of push-ups or something. We'll see how it goes. But this machine can be hit or miss for me. Sometimes it feels awesome, and then other times I feel like my triceps are doing a lot of the work. And then when it starts feeling like that, I try to lock in more. Really stick my chest out, really squeeze my chest, and it still seems my triceps are wanting to take over. So it's very very weird, but we'll see how it goes today. All right, after one set, it's actually kind of hard to say how it really feels. I mean, obviously, I feel something in my chest, but you know what I mean. Like, can't really fully tell. So, you know what that means? I'm just gonna stay right here and do one, maybe two more. Just finish it out here. It's a cool thing. I was starting to feel it a little bit, starting to get a little fatigue and lose my energy. And then a certain song started playing, and it's like it reinvigorated me. I feel, I don't know, this weird sensation of just fuck this set up. So it's exactly what I'm gonna try to do. One more. Okay. I still might do one set of push-ups, but basically that's it. I'm pretty much done. So yeah, whether I do that or not, we're gonna check out the pump next. I just noticed that I made it through my whole chest workout with no shoulder pain, which would be the first time in like, I mean, my shoulder hasn't been bothering me to that extent for long, but it's been, the past 3 or 4 chest days that I've really started to feel it toward the end of each one. And today, that wasn't the case. And I also just realized I left my gym bag all the way over there. Fuck. I can get my shirt that is a little more of a relaxed fit. Once I'm done posing, I'll like change it back into that. But we're gonna make this short and sweet. Let's get right into it. I feel like I'm starting to lose my pump already. So yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I said it like 20, 30 minutes ago. That wasn't my best pump, but it wasn't my worst either. So I'm not gonna complain too much because again, I made it through that whole workout without an ounce of shoulder pain. So that's fucking awesome, really. I would almost trade that for the best pump ever. Oh well, I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough, would you rather? I don't know what I'd choose. It'd probably depend on the day. But anyways, I'm done. Um, this is the week that I only trained 5 days rather than six. Six. So tomorrow will be a rest day. Saturday will be a rest day, and then Sunday I'll have my ass back in here. I'm. I think I'm actually gonna. What time is it? Hmm. I'm. I'm debating doing some cardio. If I do, it'll only be like 15 minutes at the most. But but yeah. Anyways, I'm done, man. I am done for this week. So until Sunday, I'm gonna fucking try to rest up as much as I can. Yep. I'm out of here.